Hey, hey, days. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Man, bro. I made the most like nastiest like chili dog. I fried the hot dog, the turkey dog too. Put chili and cheese on it, tomatoes, some mayonnaise. It's a little too much. It's like I don't really want that. Just want to talk about a few things. Like I always do. I hope the fan's not too loud. You know what I'm saying? Lower down a little bit for you guys. I mean, I'm gonna get closer first with the camera. This is why I fucking hate living here. It's just like everything is like, look at this. All this just slides off. Like nothing is. One thing I don't like is when I'm in a place where I just don't have any sturdiness. I like to have my space. I like to have my sturdiness. I like to be able to maneuver. You know, that's why when I was living in my car, I really wanted that. Like, I I was going to buy it, but like, of course, car broke down. But like, I guarantee you, if I had the money in time, hell yeah, I really wanted that car plate, whatever tray, because for your laptop, food, and that shit. It's like, holy shit, I would have fucking loved the fuck out of that shit. When I was living in my car, holy fuck, I would have loved that shit. Because I would have been able to just put the hair and be breaking out the weed and be like, hey, I'll show y'all. Instead of like breaking down one of my picture frame posters. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, yeah, the wood or whatever. So, the Joker one. But yeah, just want to get out here. I gotta get close and personal because I gotta whisper to people in the house, constantly to my. I'm basically being gang stalked by my family, you know, and I hate to say that I am, but at the same time, I think I am because, like, bro, you have no idea. I mean, it's literally like every time I come somewhere, day in there, and it gets to the point where you get really aggravated by the shit. And I realize maybe it's not necessarily that, but at the same time, you know, it has something to do with the fact that it's like it's just there's no like okay, like for me, like I wake up in the living room, I'm gonna take a piss, maybe take a shit, you know, and it's like you know, on the restroom jack off some shit, right? Then like I'll come over, in the morning and like drink some water, and then go back to the living room and just sit on the couch, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, right? And it's like my family, like they wake up, it's just so much shit. It's a what the fuck. A little bit of it's a what the fuck. I'm like, god damn. They wake up out of their room, they come out the room, you know what I'm saying? Fucking making food in the morning, having deep seated conversations and shit with one another, maybe sometimes, or on the phone. They run it out. They might come out, right? The room, run out the house, don't lock the door, right? Go to the gym, come back, go in the shower, go make some food or some shit, be all in the living room or something. It's like, damn motherfuckers, like pick a place to be, bro. It's like when I was even have my own room here, or when I was in the room, it was like, bro, like all I had to do was like wake up, go in the restroom, take a piss, go in the kitchen, maybe like, you know what I'm saying, give me some water, maybe some drink, like that, and then like come back in the room, bro. Like I would be in the room, I'd be stationary for most of the time. I don't be just like running around this motherfucker, and that's what makes me annoyed. Like my brother, he like studies in the dining room. You know what I'm saying? Which is connected to the living, right, connected to the living room, and right next connected to the kitchen. And it's just like, it's fucking annoying. He's like constantly in that hell. To the point where you're like, bro, go in your fucking room. You have a whole room. You have a bed, nigga, and a desk with the TV. Why are you over here? Like, what the fuck? It's annoying as shit. That shit is crazy annoying. Like, it's like these motherfuckers are annoying, bro. They think it's like this is their apartment, not their parents' house. Like, they don't even act like a kid would act. You know what I mean? Like, if a kid, they're definitely not, because an adult wouldn't understand that this is not their crib. But it's like these motherfuckers really think it's their crib. Like, I don't know, fucking kids, man. But like, I'm just at this point where I'm like, what the fuck, the fam? But Yeah, I mean, go in the restroom. I feel like it's mostly when I jack off, or like just small things. Like right now, I just cook some food, some nachos, some hot dogs, and it's like fucking sister come in the kitchen. Oh, look at you! You're eating hot dogs, and you're eating shit. You're eating nachos and shit. You know, like oh, you're so fat. You're gonna like kill yourself like, trying to eat that shit. And it's like, bitch. You know, and it's just at point. It's when it's like it's just kind of annoying because she like it's like yeah, it's just it's too much. It's like yeah, okay, whatever, bro. You know, because it's like the way they do things. It's not the fact that they do it. It's the way it's like she's trying to copy my mom. My mom's a nagging bitch, and so she wants to copy her and pretend she's mom. You know, and start talking shit, nagging, and so she don't understand that's not like a good. That's not a virtue. That's a sign of a fucking woman that has problems, bro. Like mental issues, and she don't know how to handle like her life. You know what I'm saying? Like being naggy like that, it's not even something a virtue that your daughter should want. Like that's weird. So that's one. Number two, you know what I'm saying? It's like we just had a fucking graduation party for my cousin, and we got all the food back, and it's like there's so much food. A lot of it's spoiling and it's going bad because we have no more space in our fridge or deep freezer. And so I'm sitting here looking like, what the fuck, bro? Like she started talking all the type of shit, like, oh, you and your older brother, you and my older brother basically are gonna like eat up all this food. Y'all are so greedy, and it's like we're not greedy. Like we just don't want to let the food go to waste. Like I didn't eat all the food. Like I literally have half a hot dog left and half a bowl of nachos. I'm like I maybe save it for tonight, but like like you only eat what you can eat. Like we're not like forcing ourselves to eat. You know, it's like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like bitch, I haven't eaten today. And I woke up around 12 o'clock, pretty late today. You know, I handled my business. I went to the grocery store, came back. It was like 2:30 already. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what the fuck? But that's just like one instance. The second instance, like for example, last night, I'm like talking to myself, saying shit out loud because just commenting on some things, thinking about some things out loud. My older brother sneaks into the fucking living room. You know what I mean? He's in that hole. You're like, he starts, to where he's like sleeping in the living room. Like, I'm washing dishes, and this nigga like flops on the couch, starts sleeping on the couch. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, Nick, I'm looking at this nigga like, what the fuck you doing, bro? Like, go to your room. Like, this is the only time I get to be like, okay, by myself. Peace. This nigga, you know what I'm saying? Sleep on the couch. Then he like wakes up in the middle of the night and like goes to the room, puts the light on. It's all shining and shit. You know what I'm saying? To go study and shit. And it's like, you have a fucking room, my fuckface. Like, you fuckface. You have a room. What is wrong with you? It don't make sense. That's why I don't like them. I'm sorry. So it's like, oh hell nah. You know? It's a turn off in the sense of like just everything. It's like, why would you be studying in the place where people like, what if I turn the TV on right now and play that shit loud? You won't get angry at me, right? But this is the living room. Why are you trying to study and be quiet? It's not a library. This is the living room. There's a TV and a big ass fucking TV, and it's like a flat screen, big ass TV, smart TV. Or fucking, almost a million channels in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? And you literally are what? That's why I'd be like, these motherfuckers right here, I don't like them. I don't like them. All different apps. You know what I'm saying? It's like, go to your room. What are you doing? And it makes you wonder. You say, try to pull, I'm your older brother. I don't give a fuck. I'm a man. I'll fight you and shit. And it's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, but in real life, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So, there's no arguing with these niggas. No arguing with these niggas. That's why I'm like, whoa, these are fucking retards. A lot of retard fucking energy. And that's why I realized, the reason why he has all these problems, he got baby problems, all this shit, because he's a fucking retard. All these motherfucking retards. Period. So, you got that type of shit. It's just everything. Like, my little brother, he makes, like, protein shakes in the fucking morning in the blender. He wakes up extra early, like, I'm like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, starts fucking making fucking, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you woken up by a fucking loud ass blender and shit in the kitchen, and you looking like, bro, what the fuck? This nigga, you know what I mean? It's almost unbearable. It's like, you pieces of fucking shit. Like, I really hate you motherfuckers. And then sometimes, if like my mom's in the fucking living room or some shit, she'll be staying up till like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock. Last time she stayed up to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning watching like some YouTube African sermon, Catholic, Christian sermon type shit for like fucking hours. Like the whole day she was watching the whole day. And then she kept on watching it all the way to the fucking like 4 o'clock in the morning on smart TV. And I'm just like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I can't sleep, bro. So I'm like, this is crazy shit. Like, that's why I'm like, bro, like, I don't need to be here anymore. And like, I'm just getting the signs once again, like, where it's like, I'm like talking to my family, but I'm not gonna be talking to them. And I think that just makes sense at this point. Like, it's not even like me being gay, cross-dresser. So yeah, so when I talk about this shit, they trying to come out, they trying to come in this bitch. That's what I mean by gang stalker. It's like, I don't know why, but they're always there when I'm there, and they're literally disturbing me. Like, sometimes I go in the restroom, I want to jack off and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I be trying to totally take a shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, we went off real quick. It's a place to go, a place to do what I'm doing. And these motherfuckers, I've never, like, I used to do this shit all the time. Last time I was here, I used to do this shit. What the fuck? But it's like, for some reason, these motherfuckers have to be there. They have to be there. Like right now, they're about to come in the garage and, I'm trying to do my laundry. All y'all trying to come in the garage. He's gonna be like, come on, bro, damn, nigga, just put your laundry in the shit, put the soap in that bitch, press the button, and get the fuck out of here. Like, they will make a decision. And they come in here, and it's never just, let me just do my thing. It's like, they come in here, and it's like, let me see what the fuck you're doing first. And it's like, you looking at them like, man, at first, I would be like, what? Like, I'm not doing nothing. But now I'm like, on the point where I'm just, my mind is like, bro, get the fuck out of my motherfucking face. Get out of my face. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's fucking annoying. It's like, get the fuck out of my fucking face, you tar. You're the fucking retard. You're a retard. Not me. Get the fuck out of my face. You're still eating a fucking chili dog, and they're looking at you like, why you eating a chili dog? Oh my god. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers come to the restroom when I'm in the restroom and shit. Every time I come to the restroom, they come to the restroom. Even sometimes when I want to take a shit, I go in the house, alright, I'm about to be here for like 5 minutes. Nobody's been here all day. Nobody can be there all day. All day. For hours. And then I go in there, I'm going to take a dump real quick. I'm going to try to take a dump. They oh, hey, what is going on? Are you in here? You'd be like, yes, nigga, that's why the door is locked. Somebody in here? No, bro. The door just got locked somehow. Like, stupid shit. You know what I mean? It's like, it kills me, man. I just get so fucking annoyed. But also, on another note, I've been like looking at HEP and shit, type shit on Reddit, and it's like, I just figured that like HEP is really, it's just outdated. That's really all it is when it comes to. It's just outdated terminologies and way of thinking. Because it's like back in the day, HEPs would be one of those. I feel like maybe with the trans community too. Think about it, in the queer community, we're at a tipping point. Basically, like when they thought the world was flat, they thought that women couldn't, like, when women had sex, but men, they didn't have any sexual pleasure, and they thought that most of that homosexuality was a mental disorder. I think we're at that time period now. Because I'm only saying it because I'm laughing because I'm saying, when you want somebody, you realize like what's underneath the surface of this AGP discussion, and everybody that's talking about, people that say they are, people that say they're not, and all this. It's funny because it's like, what I found out is like, it just goes based off of the notion that, in so many words, a human male is supposed to be straight and attracted to women, and he goes out to receive sex, and a woman, is attracted to a man because she needs all these things. She needs a man to take care of her. You get what I'm saying? And men are stronger sex. They usually go out and they have more, they have sex. So they, testosterone, they want to go out and like basically like mate with women. So they have to like prove they're a real man to a woman and then she'll submit and have be some Cinderella story. That shit. And then it's like it's funny to me because I'm thinking like, okay, but that's based off of your circumstance. You know what I'm saying? And so like I realized that's basically what that's about. Like people just really just the whole AGP thing is just based off of heteronormativity and transphobia and homophobia. In so many words, because it completely like it's not about those people. It's really just the fact that it's like those are not seen as something that we could put into the equation. You know what I'm saying? When we categorize people and as such, you know what I'm saying? And to look at a diagram of our base of thought processes. Because we're talking about that type of stuff. It's not really scientific. If you think about it, when we say science is observation and something. I'm talking about a certain category of science. It's really like a social science if you think about it. That's why I say so. That's why people say it's a social construct because it's a social science. Race is a actual biological science. You know what I'm saying? And it stems from your ancestors' geographical location. But heritage is different. That's like your race's history. You know, anyways your upbringing. Like, we are like we have American heritage because I'm born and raised in America, but my parents are Nigerian. I also have a Nigerian heritage. You know what I'm saying? So basically, here in America, since I was born in America, I'm just an African American. I'm black. You know what I'm saying? I'm not African. I'm not Nigerian. I'm African American here. And so that's just what that is. But my heritage is Nigerian heritage. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just living as an American. If that makes sense. In other words, if my mom and dad stayed in Nigeria, I would have been born in Nigeria and been Nigerian. You know what I'm saying? But my upbringing is American, so I'm black. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my words. Yeah, yeah. I'm about to say something else. Yeah. So that's basically what AGP is basically about. AGP is like, I'm starting to see more the subreddit. I'm learning recently subreddits. This is why I have two phones. To be real with you, like this is why I got you. If I keep you on long enough, this is why I got you phones. Why this phone turns on? Keep on talking. Got mine for eat, dude. Let's see, how far did I go? You hate when the chip gets all soggy. Oh no, it's corny. Corny though. Pretty good though. This though, hell. Hell nah. You gotta cut this shit up. Give me a knife. God. It's so burnt. It's so burnt. But let's see. I download some of the huh. I like how this is on the Apple list. Is that hot dog? I don't know. So ask AGP. I just like going here and reading some of this. I was reading them. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, like, have you seen the movie The Tenant? The Tenant. The movie The Tenant from 1976. If you watch that movie, it's if you're a horror fan, you know you like the horror classics and you like the culture or whatever it's called, the cult. You should definitely check that out. I think it's free on YouTube. Still, if you get a chance, you should definitely check that out. It's called The Tenant. God damn. Anyways, excuse me. Let's read some of this shit. Some of the questions or whatever. So you got The Tenant. Somebody made a full post. Little post. Have you seen the movie The Tenant? Da, da, da. So basically, this one's talking about what you gonna call it, The Tenant, and how it gets close to this, like a lot of AGP. And I used to like, as you know, when I would feel trans or whatever, I would definitely put on this movie to, you know, in my like, what you gonna call it, in my awakening. But I would probably say it was from going from A1 to A2. You know what I'm saying? When you're like, you are, but you don't know it. You just have these feelings, but you're not connecting them to anything that's unconventional. To like that middle stage, like you like realizing, oh, like yeah, I'm into some unconventional shit. You just don't really know it, you know. And even to me, you know, I think what happens in working with like detransitioners, like if you think about it, is that not just AGP, but just using that chart as a basis, we can see that there's like for me, it was like I was already going into that stage. Like I said, like A2, or it's called B2. You know, sorry, A2 or 1B or something like that. You know, whatever the category is, right? It's like from being dormant to like realizing that I was different. Is I had to like go through like homosexual. I thought I was homosexual. You know what I'm saying? So then like, but then also, but I didn't really think that. I jumped from like, it was like at that point I knew I was like doing gay shit, quote unquote, but I didn't really like understand that. Oh, I was just down low dude. Like I was just doing it because like I can't get a girl, you know. But then it's like no, like that's when I realized like I do like doing it, and so that made me go up to the other part, swing to the other side, and was like, I guess I might be a girl, right? But at the same time, there was no like delusion of that factor. So like to me, it, you know, I wasn't like being a woman wasn't what I really like wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what I really wanted. I just couldn't like cope with the fact of being a gay or a gay guy. You know what I mean? So it's this situation where it was like I was doing it, but I didn't really see myself doing it. I was doing it because I was doing it for a female, right? But then at the same time, when I realized that I wasn't doing that, and that I really like just enjoy doing this, you know what I'm saying? It made me like couldn't be in the middle of gay man, woman, gay guy. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't be like queer. So I had to swing to that side to some degree. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when it was kind of like, okay, I guess I'm a woman then. But I didn't think that I was a woman though. I already always knew I was just a gay guy, right? You know what I'm saying? Trying to be more like a woman. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's where, for me, you know, I was kind of like, okay, and you know, and it's not that I thought or I didn't think. Sometimes, like I said, I was trying to explain right now. It's like your thinking goes farther than that. So in other words, I went from dormant stage to awareness, but I feel like we all have a disposition basically in life, whether it be our external, like our bodies, right? That's why dysphoria, people have body dysphoria. You know what I'm saying? Like socially, social dysphoria. You know what I'm saying? And I would say expression wise, like on that level, like makeup, clothes, your mannerisms, shit like that, right? I feel like those things are the things that really they get you when you're young and when you have been socialized enough, like you know how to socialize with human beings enough, even adults to a certain degree, as a kid, you know what I'm saying? I think that's when you have the capacity to be as quote unquote AGP as you're supposed to be. And I feel like we learn from society that we need to act like this, we need to do this, right? This is how our life's supposed to be. But we know who we are already. And so I feel like that is where you're coming from, because like then you have, it's like a reset almost, if that makes sense. When it comes to things to where you realize like, okay, you have to be at A1 where it's dormant. And it's not until sexuality comes into play, because that's the main indicators, you know, and not just who you fancy. You know what I'm saying? It's like who you are. You know, the whole, like there's man or woman, there's masculine and feminine, there's dominant and submissive. So, you know, like I said, it's expressions. There's this divide that comes into play where it's like that's where I think that's why AGPs are so, you know, when it comes to the sex part, that's why it's like that's what gets us going in the sense of the word, because that's the only thing that really like points itself out, you know, if that makes sense. And so I just think that you can already be ahead of yourself but not know it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be A1. We all start off at A1, you know, but we don't know it because we've suppressed it. And so some of us jump all the way to C, where they, you know, get their own hormones, surgeries, cut the wing wham off, the wing wham off, and the boys. You know what I'm saying? It's like shit. You know, at that point, you know, you're like, oh snap, it's crazy. They do it too much. But it's like, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to. Because here's the thing, right? Even in homosexuals, right, so to speak, or queer people, right, non-binary, it's like they put on the makeup, all that shit. That's like a B1 right there stage. You get what I'm saying? That's that B1. And so, like, for me, I literally, like, went to the B1 stage. I was racing to get there because I felt like, okay, like, for me, like, for example, it was an awakening to get to that B2, and that's really where I wanted to be. And I was actually very comfortable there. And that's the weird thing about it. You know, you can be comfortable there. You can be, okay, I'm on hormones. You know, I try to dress as androgynous as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're already there. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I say androgynous, I don't mean to appear androgynous. It's just because, okay, B1, cross dressing. You know what I'm saying? B2 is when you take it a little further now. Now you're not just dressing as a woman, so to speak. Or, you've seen cross dressers that are all fancy looking and shit. That's not what you're dealing with. You're dealing with B2, you're dealing with motherfuckers that actually want to socialize themselves. They're not just doing it in private or for themselves. You know what I'm saying? To realize it for themselves, to see it for themselves. Now they have assimilated that to a part of themselves to it. You see what I'm saying? So now they can actually, it's almost like a split personality. Like people get traumatized or they dramatize, as I say, and the drama of life, right, does things to them to where their one God mind like splits, into like these sometimes multiple minds, and they have that called multiple personality disorder. And when you go to therapy, it's all about integrating those minds together because you're shattered. So now those personalities got to get to know each other and interact with each other and work together and love each other and coexist with each other. You get what I'm saying? And that's how you break that. And so the mind thing is whole. That's why people say female brain and there's male brain. I don't believe it. I used to think of that, but I don't believe it anymore. I know the way the brain works, the chemistry works in the brain, so it's not set at all. That's why we see things like PTSD and shit. Anyways, so you know what I'm saying? You have these two separate minds because they're not your mind. That's what you were told and taught, and so like they already knew because they've studied humans their whole lives. Generations of generations. They have the science, they have the technology. So in so many words, they know that your mind splits into this man and woman ideologies, especially when they teach you things and you do what they say. You only have these two minds in your head. Or at least because of this, you might have a female mind. You get what I'm saying? Or you might have both. And so now it's time to integrate it. But which one is the most authentic? And so that's the reason why. That's what that AG is about. Because you can't really get into it if it's not working together. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So all the passability, that's not important. What's important is how far you go down that trail to the other side. So you got, of course, the middle. There's three categories, A, B, and C, and they all have a 1 and a 2, right? Which is the dormant stage, where you just kind of coasting in that mindset. And then like gravitating towards the other spectrum. It can only be the same thing for women. Like women can be a B1, sorry, A1, where it's dormant, and then A2, or what it's called. Think about it. Like it would be the same thing as a man. Like they would have realized that they would like to be, this way. Then you know what I'm saying? B2, B1. They gonna start dressing up. Thanks and shit. You know what I'm saying? Then the B2, they're on the moans. You know what I'm saying? Socializing that way. You probably seen it growing up. Then you have all the way to C, or what it's called, C1, C2. And that's when they actually are like trying to be like full-on transsexuals. All the way to, you know what I'm saying? CB, which they completely like, they're trying to get bottom surgery. So it's about the irreversibilities. You know what I'm saying? But really, for the person dealing with it, that's really what it stems from. It's like, and so people think because you're a man or a woman, it's like, it's like you're ripping yourself from your mind and becoming this like thing, but it's like they don't really understand that's what it comes from. It really comes back from the gender spectrum. It's so many words. My sister even like, there's no such thing. She's just trying to be conservative and all that shit, but let's keep it real, and that's what it is. Like that's really what it is. So it's like in that instance right there, you see, like I was already probably a B2. You know what I'm saying? In my mindset. So that's why I was like, oh, I'm already no. But I wasn't thinking that. You get what I'm saying? It was like something that I knew that, okay, I want to become that, you know. But when you see the transitions, you see those, you think, oh, people can actually be passable, and that's what it comes down to is like being passable. And so you realize, like, okay, if I'm passable, that means I'm gonna be socialized as a girl. Period. And then as far as the surgery is concerned, if I'm passable, I can live my life that way, but at the same time, get to where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? And then be the full girl, and it wouldn't even be like it wouldn't matter, you know. But the problem is, you know, is that your mind doesn't add up to like what's your physically at, if that makes sense. You know, like you could be a like for me, I already know. I'm telling you, I already know because like this is what I say I know because when I was younger, I remember like trying on my sister's skirts. You know, I was just that I was, you know, even when I got super skinny, I was like wearing my sister's pants and her clothes, and skinny jeans, and all this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't really super masculine like other guys. It's a situation where I was mostly funny, you know, or trying to be, but even that, I try to get serious. But it's a thing where you're like, you already are a B2, but because we all start off with the 8-1, it's a literal fight to get to that. You know what I'm saying? To get on the moans, to get to a place where you can wear your hair long. You know what I'm saying? To get to a place where you can dress how you want to dress. Be like that show I'm watching right now on HBO Max, sort of. You know what I'm saying? Be like Subby. You know, you could be like her, but it's or them. It could be like them, but it's like it's really like crazy because you know I mean somebody really like for them somebody's not on hormones. You know what I'm saying? So if I got that far, it'd be like I'm on a. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say take it realistically. It's not about taking it realistically. It's literally the fact that you know you might literally be right now. I'm in an A1 position. I have to be dormant, but I'm on B2 because I already know already. So like that will never. I will never be. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I will never be that type of person fully anymore. I will never, ever be that type of person. You know, I might just be a B2. I would say that, but that's what a crossdresser is. They have this B1 where they're dressing. You get what I'm saying? Where they're dressing up, but then it's like they also will have to take it off and become back to a B. A two, right? Yeah, a A2, where now they're. You get what I'm saying? Like they know that they have these feelings, they just don't act on it. You get what I'm saying? And so that's pretty much where I'm at always at this point right now, and that's why it's like very aggravating because I just want to get to that B2, but it's really because so I can get to that. Sorry, exactly. So I mean, really, so I get to that. So I get to that B1, so I get back to the B2, and then once I'm in the B2 stage, is that's why it's like, excuse me, that's way that way it's just like I feel more comfortable because you're always gonna have to go back to the one stage if that makes sense. So that's why even if you're on C2 and you're done, you if you get outed, you're gonna now be. I'm laughing because it's true. Because you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be a C1. They won't even deal with you on a B level. Think about it. The B's you got okay, you're on the mode. If things are reversible, transition is reversible. And that's why people are like, oh, if there's a chance of it being reversible, then we can still fix it. And that's the that's the situation where it's like, okay, this is true. I'm not even gonna front, but it's not up to people to diagnose that. It's up to the individual. You get what I'm saying? To diagnose that. But the question is, does it take from your experience? The problem is we already live in a world where we're condemned to, assimilate to A1. You know what I'm saying? You know, A1 situations, if that makes sense, in our whole entire lives. So it makes a situation where it's like you don't know how far somebody has to go to get where they're going, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, it's not just a simple journey. You get what I'm saying? It's like it's not weighed in how long you do something or the effort you put into it. It's really about like the situation, trying to create a situation financially for yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's really where it lies. So if that is the bread and butter of what really is making the situation, you have to also think about that as a main factor. You know what I'm saying? Um, you do, because it's not something that is cheap. So if you look at it on that level, you'll understand that that might be a determining factor on why it's being pushed, propagandized. You get what I'm saying? Um, because there's no, and when it comes to marketing, when it comes to putting yourself out there, there's no bad marketing. Because somebody's putting your name out there. So, you know, gives you a good reason to do something. Like I said, I went to the doctor. It was $100 just for the talk to me for like 15 minutes, and then just gaslight me and tell me I'm not good enough to be you know what I'm saying, a B2 because I wasn't trying to be a C2, and that was like crazy to me. I completely I felt so like the hell. And the research I've done on it, it's like everything she said I already knew was up. I just wanted some low dose T blockers. That's really all I wanted. And it's like she couldn't even do that. Why? She was like hitting me with all these questions and shit. So I was like, oh yeah, you want to do it? You want to do that? You want to do that? Like, damn, bitch. I'm here to get my tooth fixed, and you trying to give me a nose job? Like, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Hell nah. But you trying to be polite about it. Like that's what I'm saying. But then because you know what I mean? Oh, you don't know none of this shit. And I specifically got that shit, so I don't have to hear going on stupid therapist and all this shit. It's crazy. But, it is what it is, But it's something else, when you think about it. And so that's why I'm just taking everything in consideration right now. Like, it says a lot to think about, and it's like I've been thinking about this for years. And I feel like, God, I was a gay dude. I feel like for me personally, you get what I'm saying? For me personally, I feel like I could. That's why I came to the conclusion that I'm non-binary, because it's like, and then she kept on calling me queer, and I was like, I'm non-binary, and I understand that's basically what like queer means, and we're not non-binary, but at the same time, I don't really see it like that, because there's a lot of trans women out there that are non-binary, and sometimes you wonder, like, okay, how can you be on the moans and be non-binary, because that's kind of like but that's in the B category. That's what we're saying. Like, it probably is a B1 and a B2 at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But, like, most people that identify like that, I guess, would be in the B, right? The B1 category, because they can just express that stuff, the expression. But when you're dealing with, trying to actually be that way, you know what I'm saying, like in atomically, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna want to go to the B2, and that's why it's like I feel like that's exactly what I'm down to. The fact that it's like that B2 really comes with the most. And that's why I was kind of like, it's just, I can't believe it's like happening right now. It's like, it's all good. Maybe I should just went to the therapy, and you know what I'm saying? Maybe I would have got what I wanted. But I also, it made me start thinking about how far do I actually want to go with this. And if I can even go that far, because that was like my last $100. And I had no job. It was just like, what am I going to actually do? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't finna like sell drugs or sell a pussy. That's not happening. You know? It's just crazy. It's just crazy. But I just feel like those things, hey, I don't know. I just think it's something else. I felt like it's a situation where, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I just feel like that situation was ridiculous. But that's kind of the point I was trying to put out there. I just feel like a lot of us, so-called AGPs, are going to the man side. Like where the middle of AGP for a man is A1, A2, and B1. Then the female side will be going to the B2, C1, and C2. So that's why it's like I realized that to get on that side, you need to be on that side. Be in a political place where you're open to do so. You know what I'm saying? A part of a company where that's openly discussed. You can openly discuss it without, just being in a situation where that's like you're okay. I don't think you need to like come out to everybody. I just feel like maybe you be in a situation where it's such that way you can deal with it as such. That's what I'm trying to see here. I work in IT. I don't really want to be around people like that. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? I just don't want to do all that. And yeah, I mean, it's just something else. I feel like that's what I really want to do when it comes to this shit. You know what I'm saying? And trying to like, uh, I don't even know how to explain it. It's weird. But I just want to say now I'm a little more comfortable though. And it's funny too. It's funny because, I think that's what therapy is really is supposed to do. Because like I said, your mind, right? And I feel like that's the funny part about it. Your mind goes there. But because you're not physically capable of going there, it seems like you're crazy. But you're only saying it, I feel like, because you feel like you could go there. Because you have to realize each stage itself gives you those more of the freedom of the opposite sex. When it comes to social dysphoria, body dysphoria, or all those type of situations. So I mean, that's what you realize the most. Your mind, the awareness of those things harbor on a person's mind the most because that's what they think about. You know what I'm saying? Because they know it could be done, it could be accommodated for, or whatever. But the problem is the fact that a person is going to sit here and judge you based off that, but what you can do for them, or what you can utilize, like what can you actually do, and that's the situation that makes it really weird. Is that there's a situation where your mind will go all the way to C2, but you know that you'll be satisfied to go past where you at. You know what I'm saying? But then a lot of people, and you see, that's the thing about it too. Like, you can be a homosexual and be a B1, you want to be a cross dresser. You know what I'm saying? And that's because you're B1. You like to be taken as a woman. You like to be socially seen as a woman. You see what I'm saying? So it's like an anatomical thing. Like, it's that the body is for you. It's so strong that because you're forced to be an A1, but you're not. And you're at least, you know what I'm saying? At least realistically, you know what I'm saying, this, but you're trying to be great. Like, you ain't shit, but you know what I'm saying? But you should be doing, you should be good. You know what I'm saying? But really, your goal is to be great. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it goes down to. That's what I look like. That's why it's like, okay. But it's like, it's crazy because when you try to strive to be great, it's like you can't really do it. And so people are just like, bro, you ain't shit though. You know what I'm saying? But then, like, you work your way up to be good. And when you good, it's like people never see, like, that you can be great. It's like they're always counting on you, being ain't shit again. And that's like, it's fucked up because it's like, for somebody who even went up the ladder or went up, went to the goal that they want, it's like, that's proof. It's confirmation. That's why I don't understand that myself, And it's not that you are self entitled or something like that. It's just, when you know, and it's that type of thing. So that's why I feel like, you could be in a club where you want to be a C2, but you really, right, in the A category, right? But you could be mentally in the B category, and that's what it's really about. You know what I mean? It's not really so much. It's like I said, reversals are the hormones. Why? Because we can produce these hormones ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Primates can change their chemistry of the hormone in their brains, their pituitary gland. So if you're a man, you can sit there and be thinking like a woman because your body produces, for some real reason, or they say it's psychologically induced, but anyways, to produce estrogen. And so you have estrogen up here and testosterone down there. See what I'm saying? And testosterone, when it gets in contact with the estrogen, will turn it into testosterone. And so that's why it's like, you're a man. See what I'm saying? But it's like, but your brain, motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Your actual brain, the thing that makes us human type thing, right? Is literally like doing this other thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like really awkward. Where, that's why I feel like where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where it comes from. That's why you see people saying stuff like that. Like, I think like but you know what I'm saying? But the reason why is because you've been socialized. So you've been taught how to talk, walk, and act, and be. And to see yourself. That's why people like this Barbie movie. Because it's talking about that. You know why? Because men, at the end of the day, know they ain't shit. It's women that idolize men because they're in the higher position in life. They are, they're on top of the food. Men are on top of the food chain, and so that's for women being second. It's like women are trying to become first, or at least be acknowledged as such. And so now that they're here with us, and we gave them the wheel to drive, it's like they don't like driving. You know what I'm saying? And we're not gonna say that we told you so. He said, I didn't load her down with questions. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? For real. But, yeah, man, like, shit, like, they're seeing that shit. Like, it's not shit. Being these things are not shit. All this shit's not shit. That's why it's like, you feel like a failed man or whatever. That's why you transition in a sense. So many words, right? But in the greater sense of things. And it's like, being women ain't shit either. It's like, it's funny, man. Like, that's why it's like, is what you are who you are. That's why it's like, okay. And I think that's the reason why you could be, MTF at the same time be AGP, you know what I'm saying? And like know it and not like disturb it because you know like where you're coming from. So that's what it is. And that's why I always feel like myself, not really, but at the same time, it was in the back of my mind. I got to a point where it was like I was dressing and, you know, uh, pleasuring myself and all that good stuff. But at the same time, I was watching this thing, and I just kind of felt like the social aspect of it wasn't healthy enough, and I needed more information. And I think that's what people are really like scared about is that they're scared of these people with AGP, right? Because it's really going to come from. Let's be honest, it's off the theology, right? In our cultural virtues is based off that theology, heteronormativity. We already know that people are going to be AGB. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the thing is they don't want people to be AGB and go too far into it. But I don't think anybody can actually soundly say that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what makes me, I guess, the most like annoyed is that it's like I feel like a lot of it is not finna to be just some shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like it's gonna be just. I don't feel like we just like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, but because it's like, what are we really saying? We say that we're just theorizing what's already there. We're seeing what, like, we're not saying anything. You know what I'm saying? We're just saying like what we see, and so based off what you see, that's what it's your perspective. But it's like, but what is the real fear though? And the fear is transphobia. It's a fear that these all men are not going to be changing into women, you know, because of the sexual inclination of women. So now, and they want to be fucked as women, so now they're going to get fucked by these men. So in other words, like they're not going to women. That's why you hear people saying women are going to be obsolete. Like, and it's like, what? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that too. That made me feel happy to some degree. Because I was like had a revenge against someone causing some incel shit. Still kind of am, but it's a different type of situation. But that's all these things are. They're not like things that are just like, you know what I'm saying? Like where you like, it's hard to explain, you know? It's just hard to explain. It's not like they're telling you to do this. They're just putting it out there because it's a good story, publicity, all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't hold that much water, doesn't hold that much weight, that much gravity over people because we're describing a phenomenon, but we're not telling you the phenomenon within the grand scheme of things. It's like if you were in the mind of an AGP, that's the way their mind works in so many words, right? But we're not saying why their mind works that way. We're not really giving you the whole picture. It's the same thing with incels. We study incels as an individual projecting itself onto reality, but we don't understand that reality reacts back at this person. Like who reacts first, you know? And you have to be real. You were never born, right? And then the world was made. The world was already here before you were born. So it's like you're just reacting to the world. You get what I'm saying? In all realities, that's, in all aspects, that's really what's going on. So that's why it's like, when they tell you a certain way or perspective, it's somebody who thinks that they are, in charge of that. And if you're not in charge of a lot of circumstances in your life, then that doesn't even make sense. You can't take the initiative to say, you know what I'm saying, that this was your mindset, your intention. All right, you didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You're just reacting. So, mm-hmm. That's more nacho. But yeah, man, that's all I gotta say about that. I'm kind of done talking about that. Um, kind of went off a tangent. I want to talk about one thing real quick for the tenant. Like in some of these comments, somebody said, "Oh, classic." And once you understand AGB properly, you can see it everywhere, and that's what I'm saying. See, some people realize that it's just like a chart, and it's giving the gender spectrum off of the male's perspective. You know what I'm saying? But we associate the male with the man, and so the mindset doesn't give accountability to people that are male, identify as female, or whatever. Because now it's like we're using that basis. You can put homosexuals in there, and it's all about them trying to be women. You get what I'm saying? But you'll leave them. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of A2s would be tops, or even A1s. I was A1 top, didn't even know. So I ended up, not only you're gay, you just think you're substituting for a woman. That could be an A1, and then you got the B2s, or the B1s, and they're sitting there just in a mental space like, I think you're so hot. And I'm not even going to say that that's not true. But it comes from a certain mindset. You know what I'm saying? That's not like set in nature. You get what I'm saying? It's not set in nature. And that could be a real reason why. Because it's not describing our environments. Our environments are very unnatural. So, and then, just on, it's just so many different things, like I say. But I feel like I've said enough.